Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Bad Blood, the Double B, the franchise player. Joined here with my boy Adam Woods. Adam, WrestleMania week, man. What the fuck?
What the fuck? I mean, we've already had the induction ceremony of the 2020 and 2021 class of the WWE Hall of Fame. Amazing luminaries such as my favorite, one of my favorites of all time, British Bulldog finally got his just due. Amazing. I couldn't believe how much, a lot of people hum and ha with the Bellas inclusion in the WWE Hall of Fame, especially some of their famous bows or an ex bow for Nikki Bella in John Cena and the great Brian Danielson, Daniel Bryan, Pacific Northwest alumnus himself, right?
That's right. Lives up here in Washington.
Absolutely. But I forgot. They started out with like the Divas, the what is it? The Divas Challenge or whatever.
I think it was like
Diva Search.
What was the Diva Search? There Diva it is. Search.
Yes, absolutely. And what they've done now, they've basically, and this is one of the things that I've preached to everyone in, combat sports, right? Because you have a finite shelf life, right? 5 to 7 years if you're lucky. Again, franchise player Bad Blood, you are one of the exceptions to the rule. And
I'm old as fuck, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but not everybody can do it like you. And just like this podcast right here is being able to capitalize on the notoriety that you had during your time in the spotlight and making it kind of pay dirt for you after you hang up the boots. And I don't think too many people have done it better than the Bellas. Hell, when in terms of outside recognition, I would even say they did better than even Hulk Hogan.
Fuck, that's true. They haven't had any negative shit talked about him yet.
Right. Not just that, but also you got to remember, and it was just brought up to me, right? They came in with the Total Divas show right as like Anna Nicole Smith's kind of passing and her show was going off the air. The Kardashians, look at how many billions of dollars that family in total has encompassed over the last decade plus, right? Kim was in Mania. Like that is a thing, right? But
she also had to deal with Kanye's crazy ass.
Right, but so to it, they have been included in the Bellas are essentially in that conversation, right? So to diminish what they've done, yes, I don't think there is a 5-star match, that one could point to in terms of that, right? I don't think that like every time that in the last run of Brie Bella, she would go Brie mode. I was like, somebody's getting fucked up because she would botch the fucking Nia Jax before it was cool. But I see that with all love because again, it doesn't matter. A lot of people are in the business today as a fan, as a pro wrestler themselves, in watching Ultimate Warrior, which again, if you look at the YouTube stuff, not pretty. Has he wrestled a 5-star match in his life? Absolutely not. But
fuck no.
Why? A lot of people, I would say, over 50% of people that are actively in the business that watch that kind of golden era of the WWF, the Hogan versus Warrior kind of double title match at Toronto. I forgot what WrestleMania that was. Well,
I think it was WrestleMania 6.
6 or 7. Yeah, that's one of them, right? I'm not good with numbers, but that's it, right? So they put, in terms of their recognition, they put asses in seats, right? Because those asses in seats were on the couch of many people. There were Bellas, Bellas and Total Divas watch parties all across the U.S. and abroad, right? So
who would have fucking thought that would have happened?
Yeah, right? Absolutely. And again, at a time where Raw parties, pay-per-view parties, that had diminished, right?
Remember
that
having
diminished,
a Raw party?
But we basically got women, much like in Sex and the City watch-alongs parties, and women would get together and feel empowered to go and kick ass in the rest of their week after their Sunday Total Bellas, Total Divas viewership. Well, fuck, man, you got to give it to the Bellas. So I couldn't be more proud. The NWO, it's weird. It's weird. Hogan's
How many fucking times are they going to go into the damn Hall of Fame? You know what I'm saying? First it was Hall, Nash, and X. It was Hall, Nash, and Hogan. Now it was Hall, Nash, Hogan, and X-Pac. Then Sean Waltman went in with DX. Fucking just put Sean Waltman in by himself. God damn. How many rings does the motherfucker need?
Here's the thing. Brat's got 2 rings, as does Flair. So fucking Hogan has to be like, hey, brother. So he's gonna have 3. He's gonna have more than everybody, whatever.
Oh man.
And
he's gonna go in with Mr. T.
It's weird. And I also think here's a controversial deal. I mean, Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil are going to be the hosts of this 2-night WrestleMania. And I think the reason why Titus O'Neil is in the WWE Hall of Fame, and not to diminish all of the amazing work that he's done in terms of his civil service and community service that out there in Florida, but and the worldwide, because of course Titus is worldwide, right?
World slide.
Yeah,
Titus world slide.
That too. But even still, I think the reason why he got an induction as a kind of mea culpa, going like, hey, we want to introduce Hogan back. Titus, come on. We'll put you in the hall. And again, it's a Warrior Award. The things that Warrior had said in the past about
he shouldn't have got the Warrior Award.
Yes. I mean, it's weird, right? Because the Bellas, it's almost like with Paige, right? And we're seeing it obviously Edge main eventing, a particular night of WrestleMania. I don't know if it's going to be night 1, night 2. I would think it would be night 2, but yeah, well, right?
It's actually night 1.
Oh,
no, it is night 2. You're right. It's night 2.
Right. So with all being said, obviously the Bellas, right? Obviously Titus O'Neil, they have a lot of things to contribute. We just saw Kane wrestle not too long ago, so it's weird him getting the induction. And there hasn't been, almost like Eddie the year after he passed, he got the induction, rightfully so. So if there isn't that, it's just the whole class is weird to me, right? Because it took Davey Boy so long to get in. There were petitions. Literally, I was on the petition board and sending the emails and posting on whatever to get Davey Boy Smith in the WWE Hall of Fame, and people who are maybe not even 40 are in. Okay, but it's the WWE Hall of Fame. So who books this shit? Good shit. That guy.
Let's call it what it is, man. To me, the Hall of Fame doesn't mean shit. I mean, you got Donald Trump in the fucking Hall of Fame. That right there just totally killed it for me. The dude showed up one fucking WrestleMania and all of a sudden he's in the Hall of Fame. And then you got I mean, I don't know, man. People who deserve to be in the Hall of Fame aren't in the Hall of Fame, and people who don't deserve to be in there all of a sudden are fucking in there. Give me a break, man.
Well, again,
let's talk about something.
Go for it.
Let's talk about something that really fucking just threw my mind in a loop, and I was waiting to get you on here today to talk to you about it. Okay, who in the era of fucking COVID, in the no fans in the arena, you know what I'm saying? The people who aren't in the arena, the no fans in the arena era. What in the actual fuck? Bayley and Sasha Banks carried the WWE in that fucking era. But Bayley doesn't have a fucking WrestleMania match. She's not injured. She's not hurt. Come on. She literally, the fucking ultimate Karen of the fucking professional wrestling world, does not have a match. They were going to give a match to Charlotte. And now the whole, Charlotte's pregnant. Charlotte's not pregnant. Daga has COVID. Charlotte has COVID, whatever, whatnot. All of a sudden, Charlotte is out. And, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that Asuka has an opponent for WrestleMania. But I just want to know one thing. Where the fuck is Bayley? Bayley deserves it. Bayley went on Alex McCarthy's podcast, and she basically said, dude, ain't shit, she was on Talk Sports. She said, hey, nothing's wrong with me. I don't know what happened. I'm not sidelined with the injury. I'm perfectly fine. No one is using her. She hasn't wrestled since February 19th.
Yeah,
but
it's
yet
weird.
Not on WrestleMania.
It's really weird, right? This is a 2-night Mania, right? A 2-night NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver that's starting tonight, right? So 4 nights, right? In addition to SmackDown, right? Which, unfortunately, Bobby Roode gets screwed out of a Mania paycheck, right? He gets relegated to not the pre-match, but no.
The
He gets
pre-show
relegated
pre-match.
to SmackDown as a champion. As a champion in the WWE, he has a championship title, and it is just like, fuck you. The WWE tag team titles of SmackDown are almost like what the Intercontinental used to be in
It's
days
what the
of
women's
old.
championship is. It's nothing. They
Right.
you know what? Look.
Right.
I'm just
So
going to say this right here for everyone that's listening. Adam is a very intelligent guy. He knows his wrestling knowledge. So, Adam, I'm just going to throw this out to you right now. Remember when there was only one world champion and one world tag team champion?
Yeah.
Why don't they just fucking go back to that, man? Like, seriously.
And then somebody gets screwed, right? Like, some people are not going to, here's the thing. New Japan has a fuck ton of titles. That's facts. All of the titles mean something. All of them. Even the fact that, like, they basically cut out the IWGP US title and basically made the what is it, the Dave Marquez produced show, which is amazing.
Yeah, NWA. I mean, New Japan, was it New Japan fucking Proving Ground, some shit? I don't fucking know.
Something, whatever. But again, that title means something. It gives somebody, people of the LA dojo and people that are in and around the non-Japan that can't, do the travel all the way to Japan. It gives them something to fight for. So again, there's nothing wrong with like a lot of titles. What WWE has failed to do is make something worthwhile, right? Also, like you mentioned with Bayley, again, what does Bayley get for a year of carrying the entire company, her and Sasha, right? Carrying the company on their backs, right? In ways that, guys like Bret Hart, guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, they would care, like the standard bearers for WWE, right? The then WWF, now WWE. And what do you get? You don't even get a Mania payday? What are we doing? With as many titles as they are.
I don't get it, man. I don't understand. And, when you talk about the fucking card, WrestleMania 37 is going to be a big one. I mean, originally it was supposed to be fucking in Inglewood, California at SoFi Stadium. I know a lot of people, including my boy Raven, not too happy about that because, LA gets fucked over twice, dude. Like, we're not getting WrestleMania in LA until like 2024.
I thought it was next year.
No, next year is Dallas.
Oh shit! Yeah,
WrestleMania 21 is going to be, WrestleMania 37 is going to be, and Raymond James. WrestleMania 38 is going to be in Dallas. WrestleMania 39 is going to be in Hollywood or Inglewood. So it trips me out. Like, you're going to like, Florida is like one of the leading states of COVID. So what do? You put WrestleMania in Florida. It's also followed by Texas. So what do? You put it in fucking Texas next year. This WrestleMania is back in business April 10th, April 11th. You can see it streaming on the Peacock network, which a lot of people have told me the Peacock network fucking sucks. Like, I think you included. I think you said something. You can get on the Fire Stick. It fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah.
But let's talk about.
You mentioned Raven, and I was like, I'm pissed because the first WrestleMania, I've yet to attend a WrestleMania in my life, and I was going to have the chance to do that. I'm a graduate of Inglewood High School, class of 2003. Right. I am somebody who graduated from the Forum. The fabulous Forum where Showtime was built. Magic Johnson, Wayne Gretzky, all played there. Led Zeppelin, all of this stuff.
NWA Starrcade 1998.
Right. Yes, and SoFi is right next to it. My first WrestleMania could have been, and still could be, in Inglewood, right? But again, I'm going to have to wait 2 years to kind of get that deal.
We can go to Dallas next year. How about that? Oh, man. So let's talk about the fucking show, man. Let's go from top to bottom.
Well, he's in AEW. No BS here.
Yeah, that's right. Look, so let's talk about from top to bottom fucking Naomi and Lana versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus the Riot Squad versus Natalya and Tamina in a tag team turmoil match on WrestleMania Night 1. Now, I'm just gonna say this, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're probably listening, like, why is he gonna fucking bash the WWE right now? But I'm gonna bash the fuck out of the WWE right now. I love Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke as a team. I love the Riot Squad. Fuck. Even Naomi and Lana. But Natalia and Tamina, are you fucking serious? Now, before I go and I bash this match, let's talk about this. Why is there a tag team turmoil match for the women's tag team titles that the winner is gonna face the champions on night 2 when the SmackDown tag team champions can't even be on the fucking pay-per-view night 1? This match screams to me pre-show. Adam?
Yeah, no, 100%. But we're not even getting a pre-show. But this is essentially the women's, what is it? The Moolah, or the women's
the fabulous Moolah fucking
battle royal. That's what this is, right? And I'm not mad at all of these fine, they're wrestlers, right? They just happen
as a wrestler,
to be wrestlers.
I appreciate them being on the show. I really
absolutely
do.
They just happen to be females, right? So I am glad that they are going to be getting a spot at WrestleMania, and a spot at WrestleMania means, hey, and the euphemism that I think should still happen is they get to go to the pay window, the WrestleMania pay window, for their efforts, right? But I think it's going to be bing bang boom. I with entrances, I think this damn thing, and don't be surprised if you see 3 out of the 4 tag teams literally be already in the ring, and then one of the 4 teams that will get essentially the full on WrestleMania treatment, right? So
you know what really sucks? It's gonna be Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke that's gonna get the fucking WrestleMania entrance.
Yeah, with the 4K cameras, that's exactly what it is. So with that all being said, I'm again 2 nights of WrestleMania, and here we are Wednesday. We're taping this the Wednesday pre-Mania. The first night of NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver will happen hours from when we're recording this podcast, right? So with that all being said, that you couldn't find a spot on like one of these shows for the men's tag team, that you've had to cram all of this in 4 nights of like pay-per-view kind of deal, like you couldn't put these 4 into something more substantial. And again, it gives the champions of Nia Jax, it's Nia Jax and Shayna, right?
No, it's Nia and Shayna. I mean, who fucking knows?
Yeah, shout out to Shayna Baszler. But again, these 2.
Shout out to Nia Jax. Have you seen her fucking TikTok, bro? She's lit.
Guess what? This is it. This is the crazy thing. Shayna Baszler is being booked better on Nia Jax's TikTok than she is on WWE TV.
Yes,
that's because she's the buzzkill, and that's where I want to see my submission magician. I want her to see her just literally like obliterating everyone.
You know what I like to see? I like to see Shayna just fucking just lose her shit and fuck Raw, SmackDown, NXT, just travel all 3 of them, just beating the shit out of people like they should have booked her in the first place, man.
Oh, you've seen my WWE 2K rankings, haven't you? That's exactly. Shayna's everything. She's NXT, NXT UK, Raw, SmackDown. She wins it all. But again, it's a weird one. And again, when you think about the trajectory of everything, right? Well, they're the champions and they're behemoth. Shayna with her amazing, MMA skill set, as well as Nia Jax, is literally a mountain of a woman, right? So the winner gets to face like literal death on night 2. Ruin everybody's day. Absolutely.
Exactly. Totally ruin everybody's day. Just fucking murder people.
but that's the thing, right? So what is the incentive for the winners, right? You basically face and beat the 3 other teams, right? Of different credibility, right? And then you're going to be battered, right? Storyline perspective, you're going to be battered going into it, and you got Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Oh God, I wouldn't want to win. I would want to lose because I get my Mania paycheck and whatever, and I don't have to face Nia Jax and Shayna.
You're like, fuck it, just pay me.
Yeah, I'm doing a Gail Kim, and I'm out and eliminating myself. Right? It's not even an elimination match.
Now let's talk about another match that I'm. I've seen this match 10,000 fucking times on the indies, but doesn't it seems to keep getting better and better every time I think about it. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Now, Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen fight, versus versus Sami Zayn, El Generico. I've seen their PWG matches. I've seen their matches in Canada. You've seen their matches at NXT. You've seen their matches on fucking SmackDown, and now you're gonna see their matches on Raw and SmackDown, ROH. Yeah, you know, in your opinion, what do you rate this match 1 to 10 on excitement? And don't even put Jake Paul or whatever the fuck his name is, or don't put him in the match yet. Just what do you think?
Well, okay. So in terms of character development and reasoning for the character, I don't think, much like you were talking about Bailey, I think Sami Zayn has been one of the unsung heroes, right? In his conspiracy theory, kind of a tongue in cheek, just like Retribution was, a kind of a tongue in cheek kind of lampooning of social media awareness and what have you, right? That was Retribution. So again, we get the conspiracy theorists and whatever you want to equate it to in Sami Zayn. So I think, and the person, right, the former El Generico, maybe allegedly,
somewhat,
right?
somewhat yes. Allegedly,
right. But he's doing the best work of his career, and again,
I agree.
I love it. I don't like Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen doing the stunner. That is something that you leave alone. And again, with his body type, nothing against it. I'm a portly gentleman myself, right? But you don't want to pay to see me do stunners, especially when a literal, like, a wrestling god, not JBL, but Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Like that's where we're going. So I think if Sammy doesn't get a Mania moment, for all of the hard work that he's done, the stances that he's made in terms of, not going to the Saudi blood money shows and all that jazz, and he doesn't get a win, oh my God, I don't know what we're doing. But then again, we had AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania, and it sucked. So guess what? Kevin Owens wins, and he's going to probably jump off of something.
Well, I'll tell you this. Speaking of jumping off something, we'll get to that later. But I do gotta say, like, it's I mean, Kevin Owens has become the new fucking Mick Foley in my book. Like, he just wants to jump off of crazy shit and just do wild and crazy shit. Sami Zayn, fucking entertaining, man. Like, when he came back with the Intercontinental title, I knew they were gonna do the Intercontinental Champion versus Intercontinental Champion bullshit. 420 Wrestling Fan says, I like it better when Owens did the pop-up powerbomb. Yeah, I agree. The pop-up powerbomb was beast. It's going to be a very interesting match. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Shit's going to happen. Sammy is over, like we're over with this fucking conspiracy theory gimmick. Kevin Brent said it right here. Yeah, he really is fun to watch. That's true, Kevin. He is so fun to watch. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, if I were booking this match, I would put Sami Zayn over.
Yes.
But we all know that Vince is going to put over Kevin Owens, and he's going to do it with fucking Logan Paul or Jake Paul or fucking Paul Lee or fucking whatever his name is, the YouTube guy.
Paul Hogan. Crocodile Dundee is going to come out and fucking screw Sami Zayn.
He's going to fucking hit Sami Zayn with a fucking boomerang. No, but
well, that's the thing, right? Like, that's part of the conspiracy.
Get him with a didgeridoo.
Get him with the didgeridoo. I mean, hell, Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan, right? It's kind of amphibian-like or what is it, reptile-based, whatever. And most conspiracy theorists believe in reptilians, right? So I think it's a perfect kind of layup to Sami Zayn's character that he gets smacked with the didgeridoo and and essentially get taken back by some reptilian fucks. But what we're gonna get is 8 minutes with entrances. That's what we're gonna get.
Oh my God, you think so? Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a prediction show. We're gonna do predictions after we talk about the whole show, and then we're gonna come back on Monday after the day of after Mania, and then we're gonna just see which one of us was right about their predictions, right? So, the Intercontinental Championship, Big E versus Apollo Crews. Now, look, I'm all for Uhaa Nation, the gimmick coming out of Apollo Crews. I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for, Big E, defending the Intercontinental Championship on WrestleMania Night 1. I'm all about that shit. I'm all about it. But a Nigerian drum match? What the fuck is that? Like, are they gonna have like dudes just fucking banging drums around the whole ring?
Do you forget that we had like a fucking, what was it, a paddy wagon match between the Mountie and Big Boss Man? It's not like, shit gimmick matches. We have Punjabi prison. Good Lord.
Yeah,
how much money went into the Punjabi prison and then the accompanying toy that came after it, right? So,
but think about this. Like a Punjabi prison match. Okay, that made sense. It was a fucking bamboo cage around the ring. But a Nigerian drum fight, like, are they gonna fucking have like dudes with drums banging around the ring? Are they gonna hit each other with the fucking drums? Are they gonna like what in the actual fuck? I mean, look, let's go back to WrestleMania. What was WrestleMania 8, 9, where Piper wrestled fucking it was in LA when Piper wrestled Goldust in the Hollywood street fight.
Yes,
the Hollywood backlot fight. Remember?
Yeah, with Goldust. Okay,
so that made a little sense because they fought. And Goldust got hit by
Piper was in Cadillac. The movies.
Yeah, Piper was in the movies. Goldust's gimmick was he was like a fucking Oscar.
Yeah.
So that made sense. Okay. Apollo Crews just came out as being Nigerian like 3 weeks ago. All of a sudden he's fucking royalty. Now all of a sudden he's got a drum circle with him. Like, is Nick Cannon gonna fucking show up and be like drumline and that shit or what? I just want to know.
Somebody in Florida is listening to that, and that's exactly what we're fucking gonna get.
Ryan Katz, if you're listening to this, brother, that's a fail.
Yes, no, but here's the thing.
Shout out to Ryan Katz.
It's weird because in Mania's past, right, in the recent Mania's past, the Intercontinental title would be relegated to the pre-show, right? I mean that was it. So we're happy that we get it. 2 people of color that are actually over. Amazing. Yeah. But there's a PLC certain title. There's a certain kind of maybe take by Willie Mack. Willie Mack is just like he put it better than anybody. It was like, hey, can you sound like the Black Panther? Can you sound like the Black Panther? Cool. And then we're gonna just slap on every Nigerian stereotype of like, send me $100 and then you will be a prince. Like, we're gonna start out, like, you get what you want, right? 2 people that are over and in Big E and Uha Nation, Apollo Crews. But again, it's gonna be the most like, again, I'm surprised Shaba Simba. I mean, and guess what? If Tony Atlas's knees can make it to the ring, we might see him banging a drum. That's it.
Oh man, I'm dead.
so again, what Mania would be for me in this match, I actually want to hear like Apollo Crews and Kofi Kingston being like, oh, they did this shit to you too.
It should be like that Spider-Man meme. You should they're fucking pointing at each other. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you get when you tune into a special edition of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. This is your boy, the franchise player, Bad Blood, with your boy Adam Woods. Look, we're gonna take a real quick break, man, and we're gonna kind of compose ourselves. We'll be right back.
Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, have been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, have been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules...
When you want to get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. You head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your haircut right.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Great futures do start the Boys and Girls Club. And oh my God. Man.
As you were running the promo, literally, I got an email. Basically, if I send $100, I will become. So I am going to bang the Nigerian drum. There you go, 100%. Thank you, Apollo Crews.
Fucking ooh-ha nation. All right, so Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. I gotta say, man, I am so fucking excited for this match. But this may be the one match at WrestleMania that I'm like 100% excited for. And I'm only excited for this match, not just because of Seth Rollins being in it and Cesaro being in it, but because this is the first time in Cesaro's fucking 11-year career in the WWE, whatever, whatnot, that he has a singles match at fucking WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Look, let's talk. Cesaro, man, one of the most prolific professional wrestlers of this fucking era, man. Like, he is so awesome. The dude is strong. The dude is fucking charismatic. The dude fucking he's the it factor. Too bad Vince didn't put him, didn't give him the push like he should have.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
So this is amazing because we have two of the, a lot of people. We mentioned the, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn might have competed in ROH under a different moniker. Kevin Owens of a different name. There's a litter of now WWE talent talent from other promotions the world over coming from Ring of Honor. So we're getting to see two of Ring of Honor greats battle it on the big stage. Now, with that all being said, this might actually be 6 minutes with entrances because they might not even do entrances. And I think it's a travesty because, again, Seth Rollins, I have been pretty critical of him. There is a YouTube series that is before I was a superstar and whatever. And Seth Rollins didn't give you much, right? And for everybody that talks about, John Moxley, the former Dean Ambrose on Austin's podcast, not giving him much and not giving a damn. Well, guess what? Who was Blix? I don't fucking know. Well, it was just a name, right? Who's the blah, blah, blah destroyer? I don't know. Who was Tyler Black? Oh, I don't know. I just needed a name, right? He didn't give a shit, right? So didn't give a damn about his persona. Seth Rollins has done the best work in terms of in-camera character development that he's ever done. I love the Monday Night Messiah. I like the Disciple. I like the whole storyline. As everything except Rey Mysterio losing an eye because what the fuck?
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, or falling off of the Titan Towers. Again, weird shit, but that's where we are in 2021. But with that all being said, I want, I would even think that Rollins probably went to whoever the agent of the match or Vince himself, and I'm like, I want Cesaro to go over. He needs a moment. I mean,
and Vince is like, no, that's not good shit.
No, damn it. This guy, because he just rears his fucking head, man. Just rears his head. This is good shit. But there's also devil horns, right? Never.
I love that you had that shirt ready too.
Of course. Why not? Because anything less would be uncivilized. Fuck you, Hulk Hogan. Anyway, hashtag right guard.
Oh man.
But with that being said, this could be, along with, and we're going to talk about it later, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, arguably they have to do this on separate nights because night wherever this is placed, right? If this is a night one, then night two should be Bianca and Sasha. These two matches, I think, in terms of work rate and everything, if given the allotted time, because again, we got 2 nights of Mania, at least 3 hours for each. And again, Bobby Roode and a tag team championship title match happening on SmackDown. So we have to get some return on investment if we're going to sacrifice all of these things. So the return on investment, where I hope, please make it play there, is this particular match.
Well, you know what? Let's really hope that that does happen, man. Because honestly, man, some of the shit that they've booked is stupid. Okay. Speaking of stupid.
Wait, do we have the Dubs? Are the Dubs returning from their TNA hiatus?
I don't even know, but the United States Championship is on the line because fucking Matt Riddle, Riddle, is defending against Sheamus. Now, this whole feud started over 3 weeks ago over a scooter. Like the build, okay, so the build to WrestleMania has been lackluster to say the least. It's been the stupidest shit ever. Mm-hmm. Okay, like Riddle versus Sheamus for the United States title. I don't like Matt Riddle.
Ooh, ouch!
Like I'm just gonna fucking drop the mic right now and just say I don't like Matt Riddle.
Ooh, ouch!
To me, and don't get me wrong, he's a fucking great wrestler. Like the wrestler Matt Riddle is fucking great. Like I love the shit he does. The fucking bro Derek. I love all that stupid shit, right? But the pot smoking, always high, dumb as fuck character that he portrays, honestly, man, like that's an over exaggerated version of his indie gimmick. And in today's society, in today's age, like you making him look really fucking stupid. So me as a professional wrestler of 29 years in June, 29 years as a professional wrestler, I've seen it all. I've gone places I never thought I would go without wrestling. But the shit that I see him doing is so fucking dumb. Rolling around on a scooter, doing like when he walked up to Asuka, the whole it's I forgot my line. I got that stupid shit. Come on, man. Like the WWE makes fans feel stupid. They want Vince thinks that every fan is a fucking moron. So hey, they're stupid. Let's do something, and it's stupid, but they'll have to like it because they're fans of the WWE. They have to like it.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And then you got Sheamus. Sheamus is a brutal motherfucker, man. Sheamus has been around for a long time, and he deserves better than he's getting. Like in my opinion, that dude has worked his fucking ass off. Him and Riddle's like Monday Night Raw matches and the United States title tournament gimmick were fucking phenomenal. And then you got him and Drew McIntyre. Those matches are phenomenal too. To me, Sheamus is another Cesaro. Really good, but never really got a chance to show himself as a singles guy. Throw him in a tag team. They can be the Bar, all that stupid shit. Throw him in a tag team and totally just like, shit on him for months. But when he was the world champion, like if they would have let the reins off of him, I think he would have had a good fucking run. But Matt, like I said, Matt Riddle is a great professional wrestler. I just wish that they would let a little more Matt Riddle show.
I totally agree. Right? But the thing about it is, I think he, for better or for worse, he is the Rob Van Dam of a different ilk, right? Somebody that has a legit sports background, but also likes to dabble on some experimental things. I mean, not here in California or the Pacific Northwest, but in other kind of neighborhoods and estuaries, right? So with that all being said, hey, Rob Van Dam gets put in the Hall of Fame, but Matt Riddle gets a scooter and not his first name. That's what we got, right? That's the trade-off. We can't have both. This is why we can't have nice things. Damn it. This is good shit. Right?
Good
so
shit.
I mean, honestly, I don't like the new title design. I don't like it. I haven't liked the US title design since the old like the WCW title or the NWA US title.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah, so I just I'm a belt mark. You should fight for something that it holds value, and I just think it looks like a fucking hubcap. I mean, Bret Hart just ripped the shit out of it this morning or yesterday or some odd. So
Oh yeah, he totally tore apart that whole thing, man.
Right, absolutely. And he's giving away for an autograph replica of the winged eagle, but you have to do a virtual meet and greet of $175. Holy shit, I'm a Bret Hart mark, but fuck, I'm not doing that.
You can go on motherfucking eBay and buy it for $175.
10 points there. Shout out to eBay. And if you're looking for a sponsorship to a podcast, check out again the Roundtable podcast. eBay. I'm just saying, sponsor this shit. Because
that's right.
You want to. Damn
we
it.
need the money.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, so in terms of this match, I think it's going to be a throwaway. But you know what we're going to get? We're going to get an hour Iron Man match, right? They're going to go an hour. They're going to go like half an hour or whatever. With again, we're going to get the match that we want with two of the guys and whatever that we need to, right? In Riddle and Sheamus. Sheamus again, along with you. I mean, Sheamus in Ireland, right? Along with Fergal Devitt or Finn Balor now, like Nikki Cross. Like I've had the amazing opportunity to talk to a lot of wrestlers based in Ireland and Scotland over the last couple weeks. These two are again, if Bret Hart and the Hart family and everything are the benchmark for Calgary, Alberta, Canada, right? And everybody that came through the dungeon, well, guess what? Sheamus and Drew and Nikki Cross and Becky Lynch, Rebecca Quinn are that for the Scottish Irish wrestling community. So I hope the match is going to be amazing. It's probably going to be one of the longest matches, whatever, with no build. Look, we had a Edge versus Booker T Japanese shampoo commercial, and it was not a bad match. It was Booker T's WrestleMania debut back at WrestleMania 17 in Houston. So this is going to be a good match, right? If you're an ardent wrestling fan, you will be paid for your fandom with this match. But again, it's a shit build. It's over a scooter.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Riddle's high.
The build they're giving these guys, I don't get it. It's just like,
and the introduction of anybody on the Peacock Network that might have been carryovers from Stabler
let's not talk about the Peacock Network.
Right. But again, this is the introduction. We get no pause and fast forward and rewinding. You might have been like watching Law and Order and the return of Detective Stabler. You might have watched the Punky Brewster reboot or been rehashed and reintroduced to The Office, right? And then you flip over to a new tab and there's the WWE and WrestleMania. I remember WrestleMania back in the day and blah, 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 and whatever. So yes. And again, this will be the best match of the card in their introduction to the Peacock Network, right? For people that don't know wrestling. And it's going to be a shit build. But it will probably be better than the WWE world title matches of the men's division. So
we'll get to that shit too. But the Peacock Network, man, think about it. You know what? I'm just going to call it what it is. Somebody got fucking robbed. Okay. You paid $1 billion for the WWE Network. $1 billion for the library. And then you, like Josh James right here. Josh James just said it, dude. They fucking the right to censor. Right?
There's a meme going out.
The Peacock Network, man. Everything cancel culture is huge right now on the Peacock Network.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the whole Attitude Era is gone. Gone.
But here's the honest to goodness truth. Here's the fact of the matter, right? NBC Universal kind of got burned. They were supposed to have some big stuff happen.
Kind of got burned.
No, I mean, but in terms of stocks, right? They were supposed to get, it's almost similar to what happened with Paramount Network of a different ilk, right? Like, Viacom, basically having that. They're supposed to have a bunch of Harvey Weinstein produced stuff, Waco and everything like that, and all the crazy, fucked up and horrible things that Weinstein did. Yeah, that's it, right? And then they're kind of stuck with this thing, right? They were supposed to have a bigger offering, with a lot of the other, like NBC Universal products, right? I mean, you're not just talking about regular NBC and USA. You got Telemundo. That's all of this stuff is in the NBC kind of universe, so to speak, right? And they were supposed to offer this, big offering to boost up the stock, and then something went awry. And again, they're one of the reasons why you can't get the Peacock Network if you own a Amazon Fire Stick is because they promise a bill of goods. This is almost like when the UFC brought Pride, right? They just or the WWE buying Mid South, right? They just got the tapes here and there and not
Yeah.
really, and this is exactly what happened where unfortunately they have to have some sort of value for all of the shareholders and what have you. But it's at the behest of wrestling fans that again we're used to and prone and conditioned to getting their WWE network. That is no more. But you got to remember, the WWE network, just like the Attitude Era, wasn't all peaches and cream, right? There
True.
were some glitches. I missed the Undertaker streak, ending because I watched it on a replay because the WWE network on my Roku app at the time fucked up, right? So it don't, this happens, and this happens with tech. If you have a phone, if you have a computer, this happens with tech. The first generation. Again, we're gonna be going like, fuck, it's gonna be a hell of a deal 2 years from now that I own the
Mhm.
Peacock network and all the offerings, right? Ever, right? And all of the shit that again, the Amazons I got screwed over for paying rights for the Amazon. I mean, for NBC Universal stuff. And guess what? They're not getting it. Well, all of that will be rectified come WrestleMania when it comes to LA, right?
Well,
Because
I'm gonna tell
that's
you
where it's
this. My boy Zach, he basically just summed up the Peacock Network in 2 words.
suck it.
Fuck
Fuck
Peacock.
All right. Oh, I love this face swap between Bobby Heenan and Andre Giant. Shout out to Zach. That's
Yeah,
fucking
the shout out to my
amazing.
boy, wonderful Zach. He's the BCW Worldwide No Limits champion. Um,
Yes.
Speaking of BCW Worldwide, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be coming back pretty soon. I mean, the shit's going on here. The shit's going on here in Oregon right now with the governor trying to decide what we're going to do, what we're not going to do. But stay tuned because I'll have some big news coming up really soon. So, with that being said, this is the match that I'm dreading. Well, there's 2 matches that I'm dreading, but this one right here, oh my fucking god. This match right here makes me want to throw up in my mouth like several times.
Like
And then I
Ultimate
use
Warrior style?
mouthwash. Yeah, like fucking he's got a puke, like that type of shit.
Oh, okay. Darren Drozdov. Shout out to Darren Drozdov.
Here we go. Braun Strowman versus Shane fucking McMahon in a steel cage match. First off, Shane's gonna do some stupid shit, right? Shane's gonna do some stupid shit. He's gonna jump off the top of the fucking cage through like 2 tables. He's gonna probably, what's gonna happen? He's gonna jump off the cage, and fucking Braun's gonna hit him with that choo choo train shit around the ring. Oh man,
So
yeah.
this will be my go to the bathroom. I
This is
don't.
definitely a
I'd
popcorn
rather
match.
watch the YouTube version of this shit, so I don't have to see the atrocity. I cannot stand Braun Strowman. I just can't. He's not my guy. I don't get it. And he wasn't. Never forget, he wasn't the WWE guy because he was making fucking runs up there as an extra, a part of the Adam Rose
That's right. He was
Rosebuds,
a
right?
rosebud. That's right.
Rosebuds for fucking 2 years, and they didn't even see anything in him, right? So that's where we are. So Braun Strowman is not my guy, right? His weird like fucking hunter, like it's almost like a camo version of the old Hunter Horace Helmsley gimmick, right? With camo boots and everything, and now he's like a universal soldier with the fucking desert. I don't fucking get it. Is he supposed to be a
Look,
soldier? Is he
quick
supposed
shout
to be
out.
trained?
Quick shout out to my boy Lukewarm Luke Owen on Wrestle Talk, who calls him a gardener. He wears the tan shirt and the fucking gloves like he's going out in his mother's garden. So shout out to
I
Lukewarm.
guess I could say that. Yeah, shout out to Luke Owen. Which I don't
Oh
know, man.
man.
Here's the fact of the matter. You can't put Owens and Zayn and Shane and Braun on the same night, right? You have to
Yep.
have the both because Owens and Shane are going to jump off of something. You know this. Why else
Yeah.
would you watch the match? Why else, right? So, with that all being said, there has to be an OMG, holy shit, fucking moment. That's where these 2 things are going to happen. So you have to you can't have them, together and clumped in. So you got to do Shane and Braun one night, and then Owens and Zayn the other, and you're gonna have the holy shit moments of two nights.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't know what the fuck. Look, I don't know who booked this show. Okay,
Vince
I don't know
Russo.
who booked the show. And they're supposed to be like the masters. Like Raven Berry would be like the WWE is the fucking god of wrestling. They fucking don't do anything wrong. Look, man, straight shoot. Who fucking booked this card? You got the best matches on night 1 and night 2 mixed up. You get Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, you know, on night 2. They should be on the fucking pre-show of night 1. Let's just call it what it is. I'm not shooting on them, not talking shit about their ability, because they're fucking great. They're great workers. I'm just saying. But when you got matches like Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, not even a main event on one of the fucking nights. Like those two women, and we'll get to their match in a little bit, but those two women, in my opinion, are fucking top notch. You know, they should be a main event. Like I'm right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying it. There should have been a women's main event at one of these fucking nights of WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. But you know, unfortunately, this is where we are. This is where we are. And fact of the matter, yes, the WWE ratings don't matter, because literally, right? You've got the UFC in an alternate universe that sold for close to $4 billion. Well, guess what? A quarter of that, Vince McMahon just sold the fucking TV and network rights. Not even the entire company, right? The entire company of the UFC, close to $4 billion. And Vince is like, ha ha, look at this shit, and sold for $1 billion, just fucking the rights to view shit, right? In addition to the millions of dollars that they got.
Like, how many years is that deal worth?
Who? I think at least 4.
Oh, so we got to deal with 4 years of fucked up pay-per-views?
Okay, 4 years, right? And it's not to say that, like, the pay-per-views were all that great in the first place. I mean, with all of the money and everything that you're doing or whatever, one of the greatest things for me as a young fan was the different setups, especially during the Attitude Era. Watching, you know, the free, you know, on the TV Guide channel, or the pre-show, what ended up being like the Sunday Night Heat, and kind of getting a glimpse of what the actual set were going to be. We didn't get any of that in the years that the WWE Network has aired pay-per-views. It's become essentially Raw and SmackDown, just with a different name, right? So it's not to say that it wasn't, you know, kind of almost dog shit by comparison to days gone by, but that's where we are. And but again, it pays, right? Vince had a multi-million-dollar with both NBC, Universal, as well as Fox to air the two programs, Raw and SmackDown. And then even more so, they got $1 billion on top of all of that. This is probably if you've got WWE stock right now, fuck yeah, man. It's almost like it's awesome. It's awesome. So this is a sacrifice. We get shit pay-per-views. And I would think with their introduction to a new audience on Peacock Network that the card is not even finalized. We're at the week of. We don't even know what is on it. We know we got 2 nights. 2 nights of TakeOver, you know, and 2 nights of Mania, 4 nights and whatever. And we don't know the entire match card.
Week is now 9 days.
Yes, and we don't even know the entire match card. That isn't finalized. As we said, like literally 3 days before night 1 of Mania and the day of the night of the first TakeOver.
So now we go from one shit match, because we know Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon inside the cage is going to be a dumpster fire. How about a shit show on top of a dumpster fire, on top of another shit show? Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and John Morrison. Now, the reason why I call this a dumpster fire on top of a shitstorm, on top of a dumpster fire, Bad Bunny, not a wrestler. He's been at the Performance Center training. Kudos. But this is like having fucking the dude that Randy Orton is fucking feuding right now. Who the fuck is that? Soulja Boy.
The Soulja Boy, tell him though.
So imagine Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
Soulja Boy versus Randy Orton. Okay, imagine that match. Or how about Bad Bunny and Bow Wow versus The Miz and John Morrison? This is what happens when you get this right here is going to be the comedy match of the night. And I feel bad for Miz and Morrison because John Morrison's a fucking amazing wrestler. Miz, over the years, I knew Miz back at UPW. He was annoying as fuck, but he learned his trade. He's getting treated like shit. That's just how it is. Won the title, fucking cash in the Money in the Bank, won the title. They give him 2 weeks of the title reign. They smash him with Bobby Lashley. And then all of a sudden, he's shooting with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. Now, originally, it was a tag team match. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and John Morrison. Then, Damian Priest got hurt. So they were like, oh, we're going to do a one-on-one, Bad Bunny versus The Miz. I felt bad for The Miz because his shoulders are big, but he can't carry all that weight. So what do? They now make it a tag team match again, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. So once again, who the fuck is booking this shit? They can't keep the card straight. You know, like the match we're going to talk about after this. The match after this is the D is like not. Well, let's go back up number B or back up C. This is fucking back up F on that one, but. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus Miz and John Morrison. I know we talked about doing predictions, but I'm just going to say it right now. We all know Vince is a fucking idiot when it comes to this shit. He thinks that Bad Bunny is like a god. So he's going to put Bad Bunny and Damian Priest over Miz and John Morrison. And I guarantee Bad Bunny is the one that gets the pin on the Miz with a splash. Now, keep in mind, Bad Bunny was a 24/7 champion. He took the belt on the fucking MTV Music Awards or the Grammys or wherever the fuck it was. So he's getting eyes on the product. I got it. Josh James. Josh James said it right. Who's Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny is a Latin music sensation. His music fucking sucks. I'll just call it is. He's almost as bad as Pitbull.
Yeah.
I think Pitbull has no fucking talent.
Darling. Anyway, so Mark Anthony, Ricky Martin, they live in Florida. They weren't like there have been amazing Latin artists. Bad the fuck Bunny? That no. And again, just like you said, right? So Titus gets put in the Hall of Fame to fucking be lumped in with fucking the racist ass Hulk Hogan, right? And then Miz gets a title run because he has to work with fucking Bad Bunny, right? Like that's what you fucking do if you're Vince. Like, here, come here, pal. Got this idea. That's some good shit. That's exactly what fucking happened. Don't tell me any different. That's exactly what happened. And again, yes, everything that you said, right? Damian Priest, excellent, right? Miz and Morrison, excellent, right? Character development as well as in-ring performance, amazing, right? And you need all three of them to fucking carry Bad Bunny, right? And again, you know, Priest doesn't have to work as much, right? He's not going to have to catch a pin or whatever. But you got to remember, right? WrestleMania 1. Do you know who Billy Martin is outside of the New York Martin kit? Right? Liberace, Muhammad Ali, right? Like that. So let's not get it twisted that like WrestleMania is this like great institution of like great wrestling and everything like that. Like, I mean, we're lucky that I was born in San Francisco, right? And I don't watch much football, right? But the Niners are my team, right? And I'm not saying, oh, the Niners supremacy or anything like that. I grew up in an era of the 80s and 90s where we had two back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks, in Montana and Steve Young, right? We had Ronnie Lott, we had Jesse Sapolu, we had
you guys had Tim Brown for a while too.
Yes, absolutely, right. And and because of those great times, and the times were so fucking high that we paid for it for literally fucking 30 years after, right? And that's exactly what we're getting in this particular match, right? This is a plight of Damian Priest, John Morrison, and The Miz, right? That you got your run, and Titus O'Neil, right? You got your run, you got your fucking shine. But guess what? We're gonna job you out because Titus. Yeah, great community service. We're gonna tag you with a racist, and then we got Bad Bunny for you, Miz Morrison and Damian Priest. That's it. That's be a star. Be a fucking star, which we don't see any fucking promos.
You don't see that no more.
I'm just saying, right? And that was at the same time they were running Be a Star. At the height of it, we also had Natalia, arguably one of the most like historic women, to come from the Hart dynasty, and literally like not just a tag team, but literally like a granddaughter of Stu Hart, literally the only granddaughter to wrestle, and she's doing a fart gimmick. We have Piggy James, where they fucking fat shame Mickey James, which not that.
Nia Jax, my hole.
Yes,
that's stupid shit.
So again, we can't pretend like this is a great institution of wrestling. That's not where it is. If you want pure wrestling, there's other shit for you. There's Ring of Honor that might not have a lot of character work aside from Danhausen, right? You've got, Kota Ibushi and Will Ospreay. Shout out to Will Ospreay winning the title, but the title design is shit. Fuck that. I don't like it.
Exactly. It looks like the ECW, the WWE's ECW title had fucked the Divas title had a baby. That's what it looks like.
Yes, yeah, no, 100%. So, with that all being said, if you want amazing wrestling, women's wrestling, right? You've got UK Fierce Females, you've got Pro Wrestling Eve, you got Progress, you got all this stuff. You got ICW on the network.
All the Joshis, man, all the Joshis, Stardom. You know what I mean? Like,
right. So again, if you want the fucking pure pro wrestling, why the fuck are you watching Mania? Because again, Mania, you know what? Bring back fucking Snooki. She's even better than Bad Bunny.
10 years ago, we had Bunny Mania. Okay, look, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're talking a lot about Bad Bunny, and yeah, and just like Josh said, dude, in 10 years, no one's gonna fucking remember Bad Bunny. And no one's gonna look. I watch Impact Wrestling more than WWE. Josh, I get it, dude. Look, here's the thing about wrestling. When I first started as a professional wrestler, I trained, and a guy came to me one time and he had said to me, if you had an opportunity to be a professional wrestler in one of the big companies, and the WWE wanted to offer you a contract, or the NWA wanted to offer you a contract, where would you go? I said, I want to go to the NWA because I want to be a professional wrestler. He said, why not to the WWE? Well, I don't want to be a fucking comic book character. The difference between, and I'll say this right now, and I know Raven's probably going to see this and he's probably like, these fucking assholes are always pushing AEW. Look, here's the real shit. The WWE is a better company. It is better than AEW. I said it. The WWE is better than AEW at producing entertainment, because the WWE doesn't say World Wrestling Federation, it says World Wrestling Entertainment. AEW is all elite wrestling. That's the difference. Wrestling versus entertainment. Okay, you got the Fiend Bray Wyatt, who looks like a fucking shout out once again to Ollie Davis and Lukewarm Luke Owen from Wrestle Talk. They call him the Crispy Fiend.
He's Oogie Boogie.
He looks like the fucking boogeyman. And that's the thing. Like, the Fiend is a comic book character. He's a movie. Like, you look at these cinematic matches that AEW have versus the WWE cinematic matches. Those are fucking movies. And Raven said it right. And I'm putting him over right now. So if you're listening, motherfucker, I'm putting you over. The WWE is better at their pyro, at their 4K fucking video production cameras, besides Kevin Dunn, his 500 fucking takes, because you miss all of a match because Kevin Dunn is just pressing that button, changing angles. I'm a TV producer. I know you don't change angles that fucking much.
Yeah. Warrior Award recipient of next year. I call it now. Kevin Dunn. Bucky Beaver.
He's probably gonna get a Hall of Fame induction. Who fucking knows?
Oh yeah, he's gonna be main event of Mania. I mean, the Hall of Fame night 2, because they're gonna do night 2.
I believe it.
I don't know.
I believe it. But the WWE is entertainment. They're not professional wrestling anymore. Let's just call it what it is. And that's why Peacock picked them up, because Peacock isn't interested in your fucking wrestling. Look at what Peacock has done to the network. It's taking the network and it's stripping all the entertainment value from the WWE.
Yeah, I know, but again, this is where. That's why at times people in the pop cultural lexicon could look at WWE as lowbrow, right? Because a lot of the things that are accepted, right? You're not gonna. Well, I mean, there was Hogan's Heroes, right, where they did like the lampooning of like German Nazis and everything, right? So it's not like it's done before, but again, you probably won't see it on the network. WWE isn't the only thing that is going to be doxxed. Do you think that whatever I don't even know what is it? Chico and the Man was on, or All in the Family, right? Like I don't know what that's on, but like if it's CBS, NBC, ABC, or whatever, when it comes to their streaming service, are they going to show it? Are they going to show it with Dukes of Hazzard, with the General Lee, literally General Lee, Robert E. Lee, right, the Confederate general, with stars and bars on it? That's going to get doxxed too, right? But again, this is a Hollywood deal. They have to do what they're going to do. And again, if WME right, goes public and everything like that, you're going to see a lot of the UFC stuff scrub. This is a sign of things to come, right? Because again, if you want as a wrestling fan, and you're like, I feel ostracized about being a wrestling fan. I wish everybody's a wrestling fan. Well, guess what? You're going to get your fucking wish, but it's not going to be the way you want it, right? You wanted Nakamura style at Mania. It's not going to be the way that you want it. That's the trade-off, right? We get it on a platform that has The Office and all of these, Downtown Abbey and all of these amazing shows. But again, you're going to get the first week, Mania week, no fucking pause, no fast forward, can't even get it on the Fire Stick and whatever. These are the trade-offs that we're going to have. These are the consensus. And guess what? Our opinions don't matter, just like the ratings. It doesn't matter if you watch or not. Vince still got $1 billion and $500 million, for the rights fees in itself. So this is where we are. And again, the inclusion of Bad Bunny and what have you. Guess who's not complaining? Miz, Morrison, and Damian Priest. Why? Because I guarantee you, this paycheck is probably going to be the largest single paycheck that any of those men have had in their careers. So again, do you want to be a good wrestler, or do you want to get paid?
You think they're going to get that big a bonus?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Now let's go on to
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I get that. All right, let's go on to the Raw Women's Championship match. Here is my thing. And this is on night one, by the way. This is night one. The SmackDown, like I can tell you all the night one matches, and we can talk night two. But night two is going to be, night two. It's going to be the Raw Women's Championship, Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Okay, so we got the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley, finally showing up to challenge the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, for the Women's Championship. Now, it was Asuka versus Charlotte. No. Let's go back. Let's start from the beginning. It was Charlotte versus Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans got pregnant. Then they put Charlotte together with Asuka. They won the women's tag team titles. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's WWE Booking 101.
You're not going back far enough, though.
I'm about to. That's the dude. Let's talk.
You remember Lana? Lana got shafted by Charlotte. It was Charlotte's return, right? She got powerbombed on how many consecutive weeks?
11 fucking weeks.
Yeah, 11 fucking weeks, right? That's almost like a quarter of the weeks.
I don't even want to bring Lana up. I don't even bring Lana up because, like, Lana. Look. Let's forget about Lana for a second.
Go for it. So Lana to Charlotte to go for it.
So from Lana to Charlotte takes up. They won the women's tag team championships. Okay, here's WWE Booking 101. This goes all the way back to fucking Shawn Michaels and who was it? Shawn Michaels and God, I can't even remember who it was. Steve Austin. Okay. So the WWE likes to build their feuds like this. Listen to show you how much they hate tag team wrestling. So me and Adam are going to wrestle at WrestleMania for the world title. Adam's the world champion. We're going to fucking wrestle at WrestleMania for the world title. So 4 weeks before WrestleMania, I challenge him for the world title. He accepts and we fucking brawl or whatnot. We start building heat. The next week, all of a sudden, we're putting a tag team match where we have to coexist. We feud, we bicker, whatever. We lose. I blame Adam. He blames me. The following week, we get a shot at the World Tag Team Championships. We win the fucking tag team titles. Now, we have to go into a pay-per-view 2 weeks before WrestleMania as the tag team champions who can't get along. We lose the tag team titles. A brawl ensues. Now we go to WrestleMania and we have our match. That's how they build a singles championship. That's how they build to a singles championship. They put a fucking tag team title thing in there. Same thing they did with Asuka and Charlotte. So they were going to put Charlotte and Asuka together and have them fight for the women's title. So what do? Well, they have them challenge for the women's tag team titles and win the tag team titles. So then Charlotte wants to one-up Asuka. Asuka wants to one-up Charlotte. They lose the tag team belts back to the tag team champions. And now they're wrestling at WrestleMania for the world title. But Charlotte gets COVID. According to WWE, Charlotte gets pregnant. Charlotte didn't know that because all the tests kept saying negative. But the WWE is like, no, you're pregnant. You can't be here at WrestleMania. So now they got to figure out what they can do. They can't put Nia Jax, who beat both Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions in consecutive weeks. Oh, keep in mind they did the same thing with Sasha and Bella and Bianca. Had them challenge for the women's tag team title too. Classic WWE booking. Classic storytelling, because they only tell stories 3-4 weeks and they forget about it. So you have Asuka with no opponent now. Now for weeks upon weeks, they've been talking about we're gonna bring up Rhea Ripley. They had nowhere to put Rhea Ripley. So now all of a sudden, Rhea Ripley is free. And they got 2 weeks to build a WrestleMania fucking women's title match with Rhea Ripley. That's what they do. They have a contract signing. And dude, I gotta say, she threw that fucking table into her face, bro. I was like, oh shit. Rhea Ripley is savage. But look for Rhea Ripley to win the title. And then who do you think is going to show up on Monday night? Because the Raw after WrestleMania is always the big fucking reveal.
Becky?
That would dude. If Becky Lynch shows up and challenges Rhea Ripley for the title, I would shit my pants. But we all fucking know it's going to be Charlotte. And Charlotte's going to come and she's going to beat her for the championship, just like she did with the NXT title at last year's WrestleMania.
Okay, but do we have a confirmation? Is Charlotte? I mean,
Charlotte's cleared. She's been cleared for weeks. So she's not pregnant. She didn't have COVID. Okay. None of that.
I mean, yeah. Well, I think it's poetic justice, right?
I wish that Rhea Ripley would beat her fucking ass and retain the title because honestly, why would you bring an NXT call up like that? Rhea Ripley was dominating NXT.
Yeah.
You bring her up to lose her championship at WrestleMania. The first time the third brand's title was defended at the big show, and you job her out to the woman who has 16 fucking world titles. How are you building her?
Yeah, but again, it's for right now. It's hot shot booking at its finest. Now, if the story is told right, and if what you said is true, that Charlotte is good to go. I mean, I think it's a little bit poetic justice. Let's take Charlotte out of the equation, right? Mm-hmm. If you're looking at old school, long-term storyline booking, right? That we have almost like a damn Okada and Kenny Omega deal, where again, kind of Rhea Ripley is Kenny Omega in this particular scenario. Try as he might, and even like Naito and Okada, right? Try as they might, and then they finally win the big one after several tries. It builds up the storyline, multiple year storylines, right? So theoretically speaking, if we have Rhea Ripley again last year lose to Charlotte, right, for the NXT title, right? Now we're not defending the NXT title anymore. Now Rhea Ripley gets a slide in for Charlotte as the pro tem, right? Gets a slide in and then win a championship back. That right there, amazing, right? So I say I want that slow burn. I know I'm not going to get it, but I want that slow burn where like we get maybe teases, maybe around SummerSlam. Let's keep Charlotte off, right? Andrade is not there. He's got to figure things out, blah, 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 whatever. So guess what? You keep her off until SummerSlam. Then, Rhea Ripley has this long-term reign, right? Up until SummerSlam. And then we get a tease or a face-off or something or whatever. And then you get Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair for the, whatever title. Raw, SmackDown, doesn't matter, whatever. next year's Mania. That's a nice
I'm
3-year kind
full
of
on with
booking.
that. See, but here's the thing. You just gave us a whole year of a WWE storyline. The guys in creative can give you a whole week and a half of storyline. You
And
just did their job for a whole year, and I guarantee that Charlotte's going to come back and she's going to win the fucking title on Monday, and Rhea Ripley's going to go into a downward spiral. That's just what it is, man. I hate that. It drives me fucking batty, but it is what it is. So,
exactly.
on to a match that's going to be relatively funny. The New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. Now, Omos is like a 7 foot. He's actually 7'3". It's a big fucking guy. And people don't realize it, but Omos has been wrestling for a while. He was one of the ninjas. He was the big ninja in the fucking group with Tozawa. AJ Styles is amazing. And I was listening to the Arn Anderson podcast, and Arn Anderson talked about how when AJ came in to face Jericho at WrestleMania, and it should have been AJ should have went over. AJ should have went over that night. And Arn said that Vince told AJ that he was going to put over Chris Jericho just to see his reaction. Like, just to see how shitty, like, if he would get pissed or if he'd be like, okay. Like, who does that shit? Like, you take one of the hottest fucking guys who came in the Rumble with the biggest pop that year. I mean, other than Ty Dillinger when he came in at 10, that was pretty fucking pop too. But, you know, the Raw Tag Team Championships don't mean shit either. And they don't have any tag teams really. They put AJ and Almost together, and AJ and Almost is going to win the tag team belts. So, the New Day, I don't know, like they're losing steam pretty quick.
Yeah, you talked about Omos, being a tenured wrestler, right? But oh man, it hurts me to see him walk. Like it almost hurts me to see him walk,
Yes.
Almost like Khali. I think he's
Khali.
gonna tip over. He's got a weird kind of head to body ratio. Where
Shout out to Deborah Pinky Stevens and Khali.
Well, he kind of reminds me of like Bad Luck Fale, right? Kind of the head and whatever. Now he's obviously a lot more put together than Bad Luck Fale, but there's just something about the body type. It's just like it's it's oblong, it's obtuse, right? But here's the fact of the matter: all of these guys are going to get a WrestleMania payday. Omos, he's going to do something big. He's going to,
he's got to fucking stand there. The guy's 7 feet tall.
right. But that's where we have. So I don't know, and you were talking about like AJ and Jericho and Vince's kind of reaction to AJ and everything like that. Lest we forget, Sting came over, got jobbed out in his first fucking WrestleMania, right? And he didn't care because he's not a wrestling guy. He didn't give a shit, right? So whatever. So this happens, right? We're funny. It's again that 49ers reference that I made earlier. Well, again, the last time that a person that came over and got built up to the top, like right from jump, was Flair in '92, arguably the greatest Royal Rumble ever.
He came with the WCW World Title.
Right, absolutely. That was the first time that
walked in like, I'm the real world champion, bitch. Now what?
Right. and that's the same thing. That's something that Dan Severn as the NWA and like the ultimate.
Yeah, I remember that big ass belt.
And heavyweight champion. He didn't get that, right? Taz later didn't get that as the ECW champion. They all got jobbed out, right? So we're paying for what Flair got, the echelon that Flair got put on in '92, right? That's what AJ still had to pay for. Arguably the most decorated, superstar in the current era, if not ever. So with that all being said, again, this might be a throwaway match. We might get like a whatever. AJ's on his way out. He's got maybe 3 years left. He's on his way out. So the reason, he gets one more tag. I don't think he's ever been a tag team champion, right? This is almost like Hogan and Edge,
Yeah.
So this is it. It's going to be a throwaway or whatever. We're going to have the Mania moment, but these are also the same titles that, Strowman and Nicholas Cohn won a
That's
couple
right.
years back. So again, yeah, you can't. It is what it is. You know, it is Mania. It's part spectacle. It's all spectacle.
Yeah, it's all spectacle, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we're talking. Yeah. So the match that other people were excited about, not really so much me. Randy Orton versus the Fiend. um, Alexa Bliss is going to have a special entrance. You know, like they've been working on the Fiend's entrance. Like the Fiend, like Bray Wyatt has wanted this big WrestleMania entrance for years. You know, and I mean, me personally, the Fireflies, that's the fucking best entrance ever. Like to come down and the whole arena is black and all you see are fucking lights, like people with lighters. It's like that's fucking like legit Fireflies. That's awesome. But what's going to happen with the Fiend? Is he going to come out with the Undertaker and Kane entrance?
No, I mean, I don't know what the hell you do, but I know the Fiend goes over. You know, if
You think
if
so?
Orton goes over, I'm gonna be surprised because they had a chance to build a pre-Fiend Bray Wyatt with the Undertaker, right? And I hope that Wyndham Rotunda, the person behind the Bray Wyatt character, that he's put enough. I mean, his dad is IRS, his uncle is Barry Windham, his grandfather is Black Jack Mulligan, right? All Hall of Famers, right? So, with that all being said, like I want to believe that Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend has done enough that he can get a big win at Mania, where it should have been his literally almost a half decade ago, right? With him and Taker, right? Hocus Pocus versus Hocus Pocus, right? I because what does Randy Orton do with a win over the Fiend?
Nothing.
Does
He's
it
already
build,
got that.
right? I mean, what does it do for his character?
Wasn't it Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt with the cockroach in the middle of the ring and the fucking eyeball on the fucking mat and
yeah,
shit?
the Hocus Pocus. Yeah. We've already had this.
Yeah, we've had this match already. And
this is the Hocus Pocus match, right?
The funny thing about this is that the Undertaker, Mark Calloway, let's call him Mark Calloway now because the Undertaker gimmick is dead now. The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, was on a fucking podcast with Snoop Dogg. Same as Snoop Dogg are fucking best friends for apparently. He was on a podcast with Snoop Dogg and he legit said that he told Vince to start building Bray Wyatt as the new Undertaker. And that he saw Bray Wyatt as his successor as the Undertaker. Dude, that's fucking super high praise.
Yeah.
That's like fucking Captain America handing the shield to fucking Falcon, like you're the new Captain America, bro. Do it. You know, but much like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that didn't happen right away because now we all know that the Falcon is not Captain America. It's fucking Wyatt Russell, who's running around as U.S. agent or the Captain America gimmick right there on, on that. So with that being said, they killed the Fiend when they put Goldberg over him. They killed the Fiend when he wrestled fucking Seth Rollins in that fucking Hell in a
Saudi blood.
Hell in a Cell is a no disqualification match. You can't lose by disqualification in this match. It is virtually impossible to lose a no disqualification match by disqualification. Hence the word no in the no disqualification.
Right.
Yet he lost the match by fucking disqualification. WWE logic, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're listening, Raven, because that puts a plot hole in your fucking. They're the best company in the world. And fans, that shows you that Vince thinks you're all fucking idiots. Because if you buy a no disqualification match where a guy gets disqualified, come on, man, that's an insult to your intelligence. Just go slap yourself, because that's pretty much what Vince is doing to you. So they killed Bray Wyatt's gimmick right there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. And you mentioned the Hell in the Cell atrocity. Yes, it was. But then also, didn't we get like him getting literally buried in Saudi Arabia? That's really fun to fucking think about. Like
that fucking golden shovel was out there.
After like the weirdness of the murder of Jamal Khashoggi and whatever, they're like, we're gonna bury the fucking Fiend in Saudi Arabia, but we'll also have like the first ever women's match too. So there's that, right? So we're progressive, right? So I don't know, man. But if the Fiend doesn't go over, I mean, I think in all of the incarnations of Wyndham Rotunda in the WWE, you go from Husky Harris, right, and then you
From the
go
Nexus.
Bray Wyatt, then you go, like all of these incarnations. What was he? Axel, whatever. Pre Bray Wyatt in FCW, right, when he got away from the the Husky Harris gimmick. This is probably the best, the most heat that and attention that he's gotten, and he's brought Alexa Bliss along for the ride, right? Vince doesn't want to make the new Taker. Yes, that's honest to goodness, but I don't see a world. Maybe I'm just looking at it with rose-colored glasses. I don't see a world where Randy Orton gets a second Mania win over the Fiend, right? With all of the pomp and circumstance and heat that the Fiend got. But maybe that's because I'm not. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm not a billionaire, right? That's maybe one of the reasons why I don't like good shit. Ha ha ha, pal. Because that
We're live, pal.
that's it. But I want Fiend. If you're looking for a prediction and a prediction that actually makes sense in terms of storytelling, it's the Fiend going over. Hell, Orton, rightfully so, is on a part-time schedule anyway. He goes back and comes back at SummerSlam and maybe revisits this or just does something else, But I don't see a world where, the Fiend doesn't go over.
I mean, I see, I see Randy Orton versus Soldier Boy coming up for the next paper.
Vince.
Soldier Boy Tim. Okay, so then we go to Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. I'm just gonna say one thing. Show stealer.
Yes. No, 100%. There was talking to Big Femme Vader, Aisha Raymond of Fierce Females over in Scotland this morning, and this is it. This is going to be a new generation Steamboat Savage. This is
wow, that's high praise right there, brother.
How is it not going to be, right? And then also you just know they're going to literally, if a wrestling match, a MMA boxing match is supposed to wins and losses matter, there has to be something at stake. Let's look at a kind of unorthodox tale of the tape, right? Because we have, Bianca Belair that literally bloodied WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix, right, at the Royal Rumble, right? And you got Sasha Banks, right? A lot of people loved Lita in the Attitude Era, and almost a decade plus after Lita, Sasha Banks literally does the same thing and scorpions herself. These two athletes that just happen to be women. They just happen to be women. They are premier athletes. Not Tony Nese. Nothing against him, but that he doesn't have a match at Mania. These two do, and rightfully so. This is going to be when people look back at WrestleMania 37, the great moments, the great matches, right? This one, it will stand hand and shoulders above all others, right? Because the work rate, the pace that these two will put on each other, their willingness to put life and limb, to put on a great match. That's it. Yeah. Wait, are we talking like WCW NWO sold out? Are we going to get the evil Nick Patrick as the referee?
Yeah, we're talking about Nick Patrick as referee, NWO referee.
Yeah.
But look, man, I gotta tell you, man, I wasn't on the Bianca Belair bandwagon for a long time. And what made me a fan of Bianca Belair was last year when Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair were going at it for the NXT title. NXT TakeOver, I think. And leading up to that, Charlotte Flair had just won the Rumble, and Charlotte had came to NXT. And Charlotte was in Rhea Ripley's face talking shit. And Bianca Belair came down and said, "You over here with the NXT Women's title running away from me because I'm the EST." And then she turned to Charlotte and goes, "And you don't even go here." That right there, I was like, she's pretty savage. And then when her and Rhea Ripley were the last two in the Women's Rumble, and they were brawling and they fell on the apron and they both just sat there and looked at each other and they both were like, now look, let's not do something stupid here. Let's just get back in the ring. That shit right there sold. I was like, yeah. And when she came out as number 5 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
And she went all the way through to the end. I was like, yeah, she's got the goods. She's got the goods. But once again, the WWE in their master stroke of booking decided to put Sasha and Bianca together as a tag team instead of building a legit story with them. You know, they just like, hey, let's go ahead and put them in a tag team title feud with the tag team champions, which means they diminish the tag team titles anyway, because, you know, the singles champions are, you know, I can go on forever with that shit. But that's going to be a show stealer. Bianca and Sasha Banks, I'm going on record right here, right now, saying it. Now, let's talk about placement of championships.
Okay.
Now, within the NWA, there was the NWA World Heavy. Now I want to say Worlds because only one World. NWA World Heavyweight Championship. That's right there. NWA, the legendary 10 pounds of gold. The NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And then there was the NWA United States Heavyweight Championship. Now we know the world and we know the United States, right? So I'm guessing the WWE decided that the WWE is universal. Like motherfuckers are watching it on Mars and watching it on Venus and watching it in Uranus. I had to say that.
Great balls of fire. WWE Great Balls of Fire in Uranus.
In Uranus, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is sponsored by Blue Chew.
Be a star.
Be a star. But you think about like the World Championship. So the WWE champion should be the main event of WrestleMania. But he's main eventing WrestleMania night 1. Wow. So we got Bobby Lashley, Bobbles, as the fans like to call him. Shout out to my boy Simon Miller, who likes to call Monday Night Raw, Monday Night Bobby. Bobby Lashley of the Hurt Business versus Drew McIntyre. Bobby Lashley, the first black WWE champion. Because, you know, The Rock is half black, so they don't count that. I do, whatever. Shouldn't be about race anyway, but according, you know, apparently it is. So Bobby Lashley, what is he, like, champion for 2 months?
Yeah.
If that. Versus Drew McIntyre, who they re-debuted as the Chosen One years ago. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's the thing. Bobby Lashley has been dominating. He's been protected as the U.S. champion. You know, MVP is a great mouthpiece. Don't let Bobby talk. Don't let Bobby talk. MVP, great mouthpiece. Got him over. The whole Hurt Business gimmick was like the Black Four Horsemen. It was awesome. The Stallions is what I like to call them. Black Stallions. They were the Stallions, not the Horsemen. But once again, Vince in his incredible fucking mind for wrestling decides to break them up because they were hot. Fans were cheering for them. But you don't want fans cheering for Bobby Lashley when they're going to be wrestling against Drew McIntyre for the title. And the WWE is doing the same thing they did with Roman Reigns, was shoving Drew down your throat as the face, as the good guy, as the guy, as the man that the fans have to love. People love Bobby Lashley. He was getting fucking over, man. So they're going to take the title off Bobby Lashley and put it back on Drew McIntyre because Drew didn't get the fan reaction after winning the title at last year's WrestleMania because there were no fans.
Yep.
So Vince wants the big Irish man, the big fucking the face that runs the place. Scottish, whatever. The face that runs the place. Not AJ Styles, but Drew McIntyre to win the title in front of fans at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Okay, I get that. It would be funny, Shane. Shane's right. It would be funny to hear in Leo Rush's voice, Lashley, one more time. But, I mean, honestly, man, we all know it's going to happen. Bobby Lashley is going to lose the title to Drew McIntyre, and it's going to be I'm going to say a 10-minute match. I'll give it 10 minutes. And Lashley's going to get Claymore like 3 times, and it's going to be over. So there's that. Now, arguably, the match that everyone is talking about, okay? Everyone's talking about Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan.
Oh, wait. Before we move on, here's a mea culpa. This is a mania of mea culpas, right? Rhea Ripley, lost to Charlotte, so she gets Charlotte's spot, right, this year, right? It's almost like a la Anderson, right? What's his face? Titus O'Neil gets the Warrior Award, but he has to co-host with Hulk Hogan, right? So there's another scenario where this happens in the card as well, where like, Miz gets a WWE title run, but he, and a 2-week title run, but he has to face Bad Bunny, right? So this is a mania of mea culpas. What I see, right? Because there is a certain race incarnate lurking around, right? Now that fans allegedly will be back, right? So Brock might want another payday. So what was the other thing that Bobby Lashley wanted outside of a title run?
He wanted a match with Brock.
Yes. So he drops the title at Mania, and guess we might get on the Raw after Mania, Brock Lesnar and
the Beast returns.
Yes. The Beast versus the Best. The Almighty versus the Beast. That's what we got. Look at this.
Fans, we like to hurt business. Vince, I'll break them up. True statement, Shane. Very true statement.
Yeah. And again, there's the, for as long as the New Day got to run, every, the last black, kind of a faction that we had is Nation of Domination, right? So, that's
what the New Day was supposed to be.
Right. Exactly. Right. So the thing about it is, for the next 30 years, every black tag team, faction, and everything for the remainder of Vince's life are going to get jobbed the fuck out. So just be ready for it. Just be ready for it. That's what's going to happen.
That's fucking true, man. It's really fucking sad to see that. It's so sad to see that. You know what else is sad? And I'm going to throw this in Raven's face. He always talks about WWE being original. How WWE does this and how WWE does that, right? How they're building new stars. Like AEW doesn't build new stars. They just recycle WWE stars. AEW has more new fucking faces than I've seen anywhere else. But let's talk about WrestleMania main events. You got Edge versus Daniel Bryan, and then you have Roman Reigns. Edge versus Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns. WrestleMania 37. 10 years ago, it was WrestleMania 27. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan versus Batista. So this is a recycled gimmick for Randy Orton. For Daniel Bryan. It's just a recycled main event match again. So what's going to end up happening? You're going to have Daniel Bryan win the title by pinning Edge, and that saves Roman Reigns. Or you're going to have Edge win the championship by pinning Daniel Bryan, and that still protects Roman Reigns. So I'm sorry, it was WrestleMania 30, not 27. My bad, Shane. Thank you for correcting me. But the point I'm making, Shane, is it doesn't fucking matter, because history does repeat itself, and in the WWE, it repeats itself like every fucking 4 or 5 years. It does. We knew this was going to be a triple threat match months ago. I'm still sore at the fact that I lost the Rumble fucking the Rumble what do you call it? The Rumble pool, because my pick was still Edge, and I should have fucking won. But Edge was number 2, and he got all of a sudden placed as number 1. So, yeah, fuck you, Raven Travis Berry for stealing my win. Congratulations to you, Thunder Rosa, for winning the Rumble pool, and fuck you, Edge, for screwing me. So yeah,
Ouch.
there's a lot of hate here. But Josh James says he hopes Daniel Bryan doesn't win. You know, they're talking about WrestleMania 39, the one in Hollywood, The Rock versus Roman Reigns, the head of the table versus the Hollywood star. That was supposed to be the main event of this year's WrestleMania. That's why they pushed so hard. But the Rock's people couldn't get it done, and Vince McMahon couldn't offer them enough money, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
So Edge versus Daniel Bryan would have been great, but now you got Daniel Bryan in the triple threat with for the title at WrestleMania, and I'm going to tell you, I look for Daniel Bryan to win.
Wow. Okay.
Because in my opinion, Vince isn't going to close out WrestleMania with a heel retaining the title. Every WrestleMania, what happens? The face wins the title. Every WrestleMania. So Edge, they turned Edge heel. Like, me personally, I think Edge is a tweener, but they made him a whining bitch. Oh, why did Daniel Bryan get a chance to get into this? You're supposed to be the ultimate opportunist. You're the guy who fucking screw people with the fucking money. You made the Money in the Bank mean something. So, yeah, you won the Rumble. So what? And Daniel Bryan tapped out Roman Reigns. So what? This is going to be a match between Edge and Daniel Bryan with Roman Reigns just chilling. I look for Jey Uso to return. Or Jimmy. I look for Jimmy Uso to return, and they form their bloodline faction, and they just totally run roughshod. But I look for him to lose the title in the main event of WrestleMania to either Edge or Daniel Bryan. But Daniel Bryan is the pick. What do you think?
Well, here's what I think is going to happen, right? So because you mentioned WrestleMania 30 with Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Batista, right, and Daniel Bryan going over, right? But there was a previous triple threat just 10 years before it at WrestleMania 20, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and an asshole, Benoit.
Oh, that's right.
Fuck Benoit. Piss on his grave, all that shit. He's a horrible
heat.
Yeah. Oh, you kill your fucking wife and son. That's what you get.
Yeah.
That's what you fucking get. Don't give a shit how many fucking Super Juniors and Wild Pegasus. Fuck you, Chris Benoit. So I'll say that, right? But here's the deal. The fact of the matter is, I feel my personal feeling, much like Rey Mysterio got the run. Rey Mysterio and Batista both got the run that Eddie Guerrero was slated to have if the weekend that Eddie Guerrero unfortunately passed away when they did the Super Show in Minnesota before they did the international tour. Eddie was supposed to win, right? Never forget. So it got split between Batista and Ray, and Eddie was supposed to go over Batista, right? So, with that all being said, in many ways, I feel that Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, is getting the run that Benoit could have gotten if he hadn't pulled off that atrocity in that fateful weekend, right? So, I think this might be Daniel Bryan's swan song, right? I think Edge wins. Yes, Edge catches the pin on Bryan. Bryan rides off into the sunset along with his WWE Hall of Fame wife, right? To do whatever total Bryan, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like he's gotten since he's got back. He retired, remember, right? He retired. So he got the run. He got a title run. He got to do the Ika Warrior, all the shit that he righted the wrongs, almost like Edge. And remember when he had the fucking concussion deal, one of the first people, two of the people that reach out to him first is Stone Cold Steve Austin and Edge.
Yep,
so
Edge.
I think,
and Chris Nowinski.
right, Nowinski as well, right? So, but the thing about it is, the top guy being Edge, right? Austin's not here, Nowinski's not here, Edge is here. So I think in a swan song, I vehemently believe this will be Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan's last WrestleMania. And how do you do it? he does it the entire, like, the old school wrestler way. You put somebody on the way out, and yes, Edge is not a younger guy, neither is Roman. But here's the thing: here's somebody that helped you out in your time of need, and when you were at the lowest of the low. You had some pretty dark thoughts because the thing that you've loved for so long, you had to give up unceremoniously. So I I don't see who Brian Danielson is as a person. Screw the character Daniel Bryan, right? He's getting the run that Benoit could have had, right? If he didn't do that, he's Benoit without, just like Cena was Hogan without any backlash, any fucking whatever, right? So that's what, technical wrestler that toiled away on the fucking indies in Japan until he got here, right? So, and then even more so that, his wife is a Hall of Famer. Arguably, the Bellas brought in so much money, might not be at the box office, but the revenue that they got from and Total Divas and Total Bellas respectively, and still get from the WWE network. That's they gave birth to, Miz and Maurice, or Mr. and Mrs. Miz. All this shit. It was the archetype. It was the real world of its era. So I think if it's money he wants, it's money that he's already gotten. He got to right the wrongs a lot of his career. All the things that were flowing in the years that he was absent and couldn't compete. Well, he got to do it. He got to do the Eco Warrior. He got to revisit the Yes Movement, a non-hairy Bushwick Bill version of the Daniel Bryan character. He got to do it all. What is left for him to do, right? He's risking any further injury and quality of life, right, after it's all over by continuing on. So you do the job, you catch the win. I mean, basically, Edge catches the win, Roman stays protected, and then now you have sans a Daniel Bryan, right, who I think might go into the WWE Hall of Fame either next year in Dallas or Texas, and then if not that, then Hollywood, right? You do that in Hollywood. So basically, you don't have Bryan. He goes off into the sunset, and then you have a long-term feud between, Edge and Roman.
You can't have Battle of the Spears.
Yeah, so that's what you do, and yes, Edge might be a tweener and what have you, but again, there's just like how so it's amazing that Danielson got the run that he did, because again, he did talk about the Bellas again. Jerry Lawler said it, like in the Bellas, kind of introduction, right? You made fucking Daniel Bryan relevant. They did. They absolutely did. The Miz was Bryan's trainer and coach, right? That's the world that we live in. So, and Bryan Danielson was kind of lukewarm on Vince McMahon, not until later, right? You miss what you don't have, and because he didn't have Daniel Bryan, that dependable person or whatever behind the scenes, then whatever. He likes Edge. He likes Edge, right? Even more so than Raven, right? Edge has paid the price in blood and body, and his first retirement is WWE Hall of Fame induction, right? So I think Edge wins. That's the moment that you're gonna see close out Mania, and then yes, you're gonna get everything that you want. You want the Usos back and do a bloodline, whatever. Well, Edge is going to have a faction of his own. Who's that going to be? They're going to pull probably two people from NXT, like they did with Ryder and Hawkins, right?
Adam Cole, baby.
Right. Why not? Why not? So
they had that stare down with Edge and Adam Cole, and Edge. Man, you never know. I mean, I don't know. See, here we are. We're booking WWE for them. We know what we want as fans. As insiders in the business, we kind of know what we want. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Will we get it?
No, of course not. We're not going to get it. We're not going to get that shit because it means something. So let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Right before we go, we're going to go ahead and do our predictions. Tag team turmoil match to face the women's champions on night 2. Who do you have? Naomi, Alana, Mandy and Dana, Riot Squad, Natalia, Tamina.
Mandy. Yeah, Mandy and.
I give Mandy and Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn.
I think Kevin Owens, because I think that Logan Paul's going to do some shit to Sami. So I'm going to go Kevin Owens. Yeah. Apollo versus Big E, Intercontinental Championship Nigerian drum fight.
Big E, and he's the champion of Nigeria. Not only is he the Intercontinental title holder, but he will be the Nigerian drum beaten champion as well, unofficially.
I think Apollo Crews. Yeah, I think Apollo Crews, because they're putting so much emphasis on Apollo being Nigerian and the fake accent and the title of being like a prince or whatever the fuck he is, and this whole Nigerian drum fight gimmick. You know, Vince is being very Vince is being very Vince when it comes to this. So I'm giving it to the Nigerian Nightmare, Uha Nation, Apollo Crews.
You know what? That's perfect, because again, what is Dana doing? What has happened? It kind of fell into Dana's life in lap, where we've got Israel Adesanya, Kamaru Usman, as well as Francis Ngannou, not being, he's Cameroonian, but African champions, right? So you get to be on par from a legit sport, so
maybe the WWE goes to Nigeria. Who fucking knows? Yeah. Now they got Nigerian Nightmare. That's why they made Khali the champion when they went over to Pakistan or whatever. They made him the champion. Maybe when they fucking made what's his name? When they made
Jinder
Mahal champion, because they went over to the they went over there. That's the reason why they do that shit. Let's rub this guy's let's rub this prince's hands and say, hey, we'll make you a deal. You put us over in your country, and you give us this much money. We'll make your guy champion. When they wanted to go and do big shows in Mexico, what they do? They put the NXT championship on Andrade. Like Vince is smart about being, racially,
culturally appropriation.
Culturally. Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, so, Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. I wholeheartedly think Cesaro, but they're gonna put Seth Rollins back over.
I want Cesaro. There's Seth Rollins cares about Claudio Castagnoli, not just Cesaro. I want him to get over. I think he has Vince's ear and says nope, Cesaro's going over. So I'm gonna pick Cesaro, and it's gonna be like a million fucking running forearms and shit like that, and I will love that more so than the fucking Braun Strowman choo-choo train, Thomas the Tank Engine.
We gotta know Thomas the Tank Engine is gonna go over. Okay, so United States Championship, Riddle versus Sheamus. I'm gonna go Sheamus.
Riddle.
Okay, there it is. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. Neither one of us gives two shits about that, so Braun Strowman.
Yeah. How is it not?
Now, this match right here is going to be a toss-up, because I honestly think that The Miz and John Morrison deserve a win. But being that it's Hollywood, being that it's all about getting those Instagram and Facebook likes and those Twitter followers, it's going to be Damian Priest and Bad Bunny.
Yep, absolutely.
Mainstream entertainment.
I didn't think I was going to hate a Shield bulletproof vest any more than Roman Reigns. But I hate it even more with Bad Bunny.
Yes. Yes. He looks so fucking stupid. And the hair. Yeah, I'm not even going to go there.
Looks like
Raw Women's Championship. Yeah, Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. They've been shitting on Asuka's champion for God knows how long. She is so fucking entertaining. Look at her YouTube channel. She's funny as shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley.
Randy Orton versus The Fiend. Randy Orton.
Oof.
I hate that. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't use the word hate a lot, but I fucking hate this match, because Randy Orton is going to go over, because Randy, he needs his wins. He's going to fight Soulja Boy. That's just more shit for him to talk on Twitter.
Which, again,
shout out to Kim Orton, though. Shout out to Kim Orton, because she gave Randy some fucking serious heat and some shade on the way that Alexa pinned him.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing, and this is where we find ourselves in 2021. I remember when James Brown died, and somebody that I worked with that lives in Bakersfield, California, that bought tickets to James Brown in Bakersfield, right? And he basically summarized James Brown, the hardest working man in show business, looking at that's what it's come to, fucking Bakersfield, and took a dirt nap, right? So I think what's unfortunately befallen of DMX right? Just prayers up, Rough Rider Nation, right? But what's befalling of whatever if DMX's plight? He saw fucking Bad Bunny, and you're like, I'm out.
Like, this what this shit came to, motherfucking Bad Bunny.
Bad
Okay,
Bunny.
I'm done.
I'm
I'm
out.
done. Man, but like I said, man, I really hate to say it, Randy Orton. You said the Fiend. I really hope it's the Fiend. I will go on record saying I really hope the Fiend goes over because his character needs that win.
Yep.
Randy Orton, not so much. Raw Tag Team Champions: A New Day versus AJ and Omos. AJ and Omos won the titles.
Unfortunately, Kofi got his moment at Mania, and we're gonna fucking pay for it for the next 15 years.
The next 10 years.
Anybody of color, anybody you mentioned Great Khali, and there's Great Khali students in the WWE. There's look at what happened to Andrade for the Mexicans, South Americans, whatever. You're not gonna see any ethnic like people get over, men, women, or whatever, because again we got Kofi, we got Bianca and Sasha, whatever. So we're never gonna see people of color on top again.
So
as long as Vince will be alive.
Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, Show Stealer. Sasha Banks.
Bianca.
I really want Bianca to win the title, but Sasha Banks, because she hasn't retained the championship at a WrestleMania. That's her gimmick. That's her thing.
The things end here.
I really hope that fucking streak ends. Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. Once again, the PLC champion Bobby Lashley is going to job out to Drew McIntyre. I give it 10 minutes.
Yep.
It really fucking sucks, ladies and gentlemen. As a person of color, I hate to say that. Like, this is not a racially motivated, show whatsoever. But let's just call it what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Bobby Lashley is going to lose the title to Drew McIntyre, so Drew can have his moment with the fans.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You mentioned about Bobby's inability to get himself over on the mic, and with Drew, I don't like the character. I don't like the sword. I don't, but I like him. His promos are believable. Even when he caught COVID and whatever, he's somebody that gets across. So I'm not mad at Drew winning. I hate that it has to happen at the hands of Bobby Lashley, but Vince.
But you know what's going to happen? Vince is like, well, I want Bobby Lashley to be fucking untouchable. So when Drew McIntyre beats him in front of all these fans, they're going to go crazy. They're going to go ape shit. The fucking place is going to blow up. It's going to fucking be amazing. But here's the thing. In the Thunderdome, you can control the fucking piped in cheers and boos. What's going to happen at WrestleMania when Bobby comes out and the fucking place goes off the roof? Like, what's going to happen? All these fans are cheering for him and then they start booing Drew McIntyre. What's going to happen then?
Wait. Lest we forget, right? Arguably, this is going to be unequivocally, this is the largest, crowd that WWE has had since COVID, right?
It's the first crowd they've had since COVID.
Anywhere from 32 to 36,000 fans.
Super spreaders, yeah.
Right? But here's the thing. Isn't it at least 60,000 people at Raymond James? Right?
Yeah.
So half of it is going to be empty. Half of it you can pipe in and drown out. So
do you think so? You think that's going to happen?
Yes. And especially when, it's an open air stadium where a lot of performers have specifically said, you hate it because you don't even hear it, right? So they're gonna have control, and over a year's worth of time with Thunderdome, piping in, and again before they were mixing in, they were coloring the damn crowds anyway. They were sweetening. That's what they call it in the biz, right? They were sweetening the audio. So I think they've got it down to science nowadays, and you're going to hear that in, again, a half-seated but half-empty arena.
I'm really just not going to like this, man. I mean, I don't know. I really hope and pray that when the fans fucking blow that stadium off the fucking, off the face of the earth with the cheers, people are going to be like, wow, Bobby Lashley really was fucking over, and Vince just didn't want it. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we talk about the main event already. Roman Reigns is going to go over because Vince wants him to go over, but realistically, everyone is rooting for Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
I say Daniel Bryan wins the title, feuds with Edge. What do you think?
Again, I think and it's weird because Edge kind of finds himself in the Batista role at WrestleMania 30, right, where he comes back with all of this, oh, I like it, right? Scott, Sami Zayn, Apollo Crews, Cesaro, Sheamus, Shane McMahon, Rhea Ripley, The Fiend, AJ Styles, Omos, Bianca Belair, Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns. I'm not mad at it. Josh. No,
Quickly,
but
before we go any further, let me say hello to our fans in Brazil and Rio de Janeiro. That's right. The Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast is legitly worldwide. Thank you very much for joining us here on YouTube in Rio de Janeiro.
Yes, that's the site of the very first North American turned Intercontinental.
That's right, Intercontinental Championship. Pat Patterson.
Rio,
Rest in peace.
So yeah, shout out to WWE Hall of Famer Pat Patterson. But I got Edge. I don't see a world where Edge winning coming back from retirement. Last year debuting at the Royal Rumble, getting that pop, the surprise pop, and I just think I think Edge wins it, and the feud, if they book it correctly, we basically get a big blow off. Now there's going to be matches in between, but we're going to have like kind of like iterations of the Usos coming back and siding with Reigns, somebody like Adam Cole maybe, or what have you, coming up. And I don't think they pull Adam Cole up because again he's doing some shit in NXT, but never say never. But I think
he's a loser. I think it's a loser leave NXT.
I think yeah, that's tonight. So yeah.
So we'll talk about that tonight on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast live at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you guys tune in. We'll actually have on Tristan Hayes of the new Fabulous Freebirds, along with Buddy Roberts Jr., son of Hall of Famer Buddy Roberts Jr., and also daughter of Hall of Famer Miranda Gordy. She's also a friend of the channel, but Tristan Hayes is making his debut here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast tonight. Also, we have a exciting guest. I mean, this lady is doing the most on Twitter. She is she's a loyal Twitter follower of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. She also hosts several shows on several different networks. Ashley Nova is joining us here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast tonight from England. That's right, all the way over across the pond in the UK. She's going to join us here tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You never know who's going to jump on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. It could be former professional wrestlers. It could be current professional wrestlers. You never know. Just tune in, click, and subscribe, and join us live every week. That's right. Ashley Rose Nova is going to join us here tonight as well. You never know. Maybe Adam Woods. According to Woods, the man, the myth, the legend right here, our combat sports specialist, the man who knows everything about combat sports, and you can find him on YouTube right here at According to Woods on YouTube.com. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You go click, and subscribe on his page. He has a lot of amazing guests that come on his show. Adam, when is the next time you're going to be live for the fans here?
Oh my goodness. I believe tomorrow with Mr. Live Worldwide professional wrestling announcer, BKF, Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Famer, the one and only Jeff Houston, will be on tomorrow, and might be today. We might have AJ McKee. We don't know.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta click, and subscribe to find out who my man Adam has on live. And if you want to support the channel here, you can go real quick to the you can go to anchor.fm/Roundtable Podcast Support. You can also find us on Twitter at the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you're watching here in Portland, Oregon, or anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, you can find us on Xfinity, CenturyLink TV, Monday nights, 10 p.m. live, 11 p.m., channel 11. On Tuesdays, 10 p.m., also channel 22, also 8002 on the CenturyLink TV. Also Wednesday nights, that's right, a triple threat, baby. Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. right after the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. It goes live on television. You can find us also on Channel 23, XFTV, and Channel 8003, CenturyLink TV. We are doing the most, ladies and gentlemen. You can find us on all types of social media, podcast networks, Apple, Google, Spotify. You can find us on Anchor FM. You can find us on Pandora, and now Amazon Music. We're doing the most. For your boy, Adam, according to Woods, this has been your boy, The Franchise. Thank you for joining us here at the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. Make sure to join us tonight, 8 p.m. Oh, and you can listen to this man right here, the greatest wrestling referee of the NWA era, James Beard.
Hi, this is James Beard with SWE Fury, and you're watching the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast.